Hey, what's up guys? This is Church of Caboose, and for today's Destiny 2 video, we are looking at the ins and outs of the Festival of the Lost for 2020. We're going to be basically covering what the event is, how to efficiently go about acquiring the loot from this event, as well as really saving you guys a whole bunch of time. If you don't like wasting time and don't want to spend hours and hours and hours, you wouldn't have to. This video and my channel is for you. So that's going to be the main focus of this video. We're going to also be talking about, is this event worth it? And throughout the video, we'll probably mention about first impressions of what's going on with this event, as well as trying to compare this to the Festival of the Lost from 2019, because after a few hours of playing through this event and getting a good handle on everything, there's at least one or two very obvious differences between this event from 2020 and last year in 2019. So that's what this whole video is about. So again, if you guys don't like wasting your time, make sure you watch this whole video in its entirety, because this should really help you guys out. We're going to be talking about how to get through the different branches of the Haunted Forest as efficiently as possible, so that way you don't have to do multiple runs to use multiple different pieces of loot, that kind of thing. So make sure you guys watch this whole video, and if you do enjoy this kind of content, especially about efficiency, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. I've noticed that 90% of my viewers are not subscribed to my channel. How dare you! So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. I am doing kind of an incentive thing. If we get to 600 subscribers by October 20th, we're going to have a compilation of videos all about my dog, who's also my logo for my channel and my social media. She's a Corgi mix, and her name is Winnie Rose. So if we get that 600 subscribers by October 20th, we'll have a compilation full of videos and pictures, but mostly videos just like this.
Grandma wants to know, do you want a new toy? Yes or no? Yes? Are you sure? Do you want a new toy? No or yes? Yes? Okay.
If we hit 1,000 subscribers by November 20th, I'm going to do kind of like a deal where I get one of those toy box, maybe a subscription box kind of a thing, where it's just full of toys for dogs and treats, that kind of thing. And I'll share with you guys how my dog reacts, because it's frankly really adorable, and I think you all would like that a lot. So make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. It only takes you all like a second to hit that button, and it literally makes my day. Like, I could be at work having a horrible day, and I see someone subscribe, and it just makes my day so much better, and it means a lot to me, so I really appreciate it. Now, I also want to announce to you guys, if you would like to support my channel, because there are a good number of you guys that are subscribers of mine, I am now an affiliate or a tier operator with Redcon 1. They are a supplement company. I've used them exclusively for years. They have great pre-workout. I love their Total War. I love their sleep aid fade out. Really puts me to sleep, and I'm a veteran, so like we tend to have sleeping issues. So if it knocks me out, I'm sure I'll knock you guys out and help you out. And I also really like their protein MRE Light. But they have a brand new line, which is why I reached out and ended up becoming an affiliate with them, called War Games. It's a gaming focused supplement. It's kind of, I guess, like the focus, like you have like all that stuff that M-Tash and all of them like to talk about. Well, this is Redcon's version of it, and their stuff's so fantastic. I know it's going to be great. I can't wait. I have some coming in the mail soon. I want to share that all with you guys. But anyways, if you use the link in my description box below, you will get 20% off. For a little bit, I don't get any money back, but if we get enough sales, I will get a little bit back. I want to put that money back into the channel to maybe get things like a capture card, so I can provide better content and a more variety of content for you guys. Lastly, if you are looking for a community to be a part of, whether it's LFG or just to be in a clan, consider joining the Vengeful Discord server. If you're a subscriber to my channel, you do not have to be in the clan, or if you need a clan, you let me know. I'll send you guys a Discord link. Hop in. We'll get you into a clan. We currently have clans for Xbox and PC. So there you go. There's a couple of options to avoid that really toxic and annoying LFG. We're constantly running raids, and if there's any proof, you can look at my history. I just did a whole clan raid just to farm for the Legend of Acreus Catalyst, and I ended up getting it. Woohoo! That was woohoo. Anyways, so like we're pretty active, even though this is a long ass season. So now let's get on into the video. So what is this Festival of the Lost? It is our Halloween. That's literally it. It's just our Halloween that is for our guardian inside the world of Destiny. Now, there are 3 different types of currency that we have this year in 2020 for the Festival of the Lost. In previous years, it was just 2. Now we've got 3. The first 2 are the normal, what we used to have all the time. First is candy. Super common, just drops by killing really anything. The more of a rare kind of major boss it is, the more candy you have a chance of getting, but that's just basically how it works. Then you've got chocolate strange coins. These are things you can get that are a little bit more rare than the candy, and they really just drop from completing events. Could be Gambits matches, Crucible matches, patrols, whatever. As long as it's an activity, you have a chance of getting a chocolate strange coin. Then whenever you complete a haunted forest event, you do seem to get quite a bit of chocolate strange coins, and I would imagine the more of those branches you clear, the more of those chocolate strange coins that you get. Now the new currency is our Cipher Decoders. Now this is brand spanking new, and these seem to be super duper rare, which leads me to wonder if it's kind of bugged and not working or dropping as intended. But according to Paul Tassi, you have the best chance of getting these different ciphers when completing those Toland patrols while on the moon, so go ahead and give that a try. Now these ciphers do have a chance of dropping just completing activities, but there seems to be a pretty low chance. I got about 3 of them over the course of 2 hours. I've been hearing Azatros got 2 over 3 hours, so hopefully Paul Tassi's strategy is the best. Please stay tuned to the channel, which, by the way, subscribe, so that way if there is a big update and Bungie's like, hey, like that's not working, we fixed it, I'll do my best to let you guys know. It might be on my Twitter, social media, but I'll try to put it in the video as well. So those are the 3 currencies that we have. Use these currencies in different ways, and they are associated to loot as well as some triumphs. The loot that we mostly care about tends to be those exotic sparrows, ghost, and ship, which is tied to having a couple of triumphs done, which requires the ciphers and going through the forest. And then you have to have so many strange coins, or those chocolate strange coins rather, to get those different exotic pieces. And those masks, you also need those chocolate strange coins, and as you have enough, you can just buy them, and that's kind of what you use those chocolate strange coins for. The ciphers unlock the triumphs, which unlock most of the loot other than the masks. The candy seems to be used for these like RNG, almost like loot box type engram bag things, like Halloween bags. You would use those candies to get the bag, and you have a chance of loot dropping, very similar to Solstice of Heroes when you would use those key fragments to unlock a box. So that's what this event is, and that is how that loot works. So let's go ahead and just kind of look at the efficiency side of things. If you look in the Triumph section, you will see that you need to have at some point unlocked 45 of those chests with those Cipher Decoders. Now, the only place you get to access these decoders at, like the chest, is in the Haunted Forest. So you have to run through the Haunted Forest. When you get to the end, there's a chest that everyone can access, which has mostly the chocolate strange coins. And then you've got a series of chests in a row behind that main chest that anyone can access. And those chests require using those Cipher Decoders. This is very similar to the Last Wish raid. If you kind of think about when you get to the end of the Queen's Walk, how you have that chest where everyone gets a piece of loot, and then behind it is that wall of just boxes where you have, if you have a key, you open up one and hope you get 1,000 voices. That's basically how it's set up for the Haunted Forest with these Cipher Decoders, only instead of it being like 30 different chests, I think it's 25 in Last Wish, it looked like it was about 5 or 6. I didn't count exactly, but the point is it is finite in nature. So what I would suggest you guys do for efficiency is you get yourself those 5 ciphers, or maybe 6, and then you run through your Haunted Forest, do as many clears as you can, and we'll talk more about different strategies for that here in a bit. And then you would use all of those keys in one run, because if you guys take the strategy that I give you, while it is extremely good for getting more clears, which is the best way to go for loot. The more branches you get through, the more loot you're going to get, and the better loot you're going to get. That's how this has worked traditionally. It seems to be the same again this year. So it takes a long time. Like, it's not necessarily super fast. In the long run, is definitely more efficient to do how I want to suggest it. So to make it where you don't just like get a key, do one of these long runs, get a key, do one of these long runs, stack up quite a bit, and just open as many chests as the game will allow you when you make it through on that run. So, and then when we're talking about efficiency for getting the other bits of currency, I would highly suggest doing Menagerie for the candy, as well as Contact on Titan, which is for Titan this week, but it's either Titan or IO. It alternates what week is on what. And then for the chocolate candies, when you're doing these different things, like if you're on Titan, grab patrols, because you're more likely to get a chocolate strange coin to drop when you finish a patrol, because it's an activity. So you're kind of like completing an activity while doing an activity. So you're doing like 2 to 3 things within one activity. So hopefully that makes a lot of sense. So like, that's what I would highly suggest you guys do, is try to find ways to do a couple of things at the same time, which really boils down to Contact. Run Contact, grab one of those kill missions, then you have a shot for that patrol to give you chocolate strange coins, as well as when you complete that heroic or just normal Contact event on that planet. So hopefully that makes sense for that efficiency side of things. Also, make sure you guys are grabbing the bounties from Eva Vante, because those bounties almost always reward some number of chocolate strange coins. The weekly ones reward the most, the daily ones reward significantly less. So if you guys are grabbing those bounties and then you're doing those patrols while you're doing that Contact event, you're going to be getting a lot of chocolate strange coins, and I wouldn't worry too much about it. What you do need to worry about is getting those Cipher Decoders, because almost all that loot in the game that I care about, that exotic stuff, is tied to getting those triumphs done. Those triumphs require you to use so many of those Cipher Decoders. So for now, go to the moon, do those patrols, and I really wish for the first time ever the Seraph Towers were still on the moon, because then you could do a public event, but we can't. So just try to do public events while you're doing those different patrol missions. So now let's go ahead and move on into the more efficient ways to clear more branches. We're going to try to break it down to just a couple of steps. Step number 1 is the time does not either start or resume until you begin that first branch and then every branch afterwards. Meaning, you could, when you load in, you can wait till your supers are charged up, step on the plate, do that wave, wait for your supers to charge up, step on the plate, do wave 2, and the time only goes while you're in the middle of a branch and beating a boss. So you can rack up a lot of branches without wasting lots of time, because you get those supers, you use things like Oppressive Darkness, you use things like those swords, you use things like special and heavy ammo finders, and you guys are going to probably be able to easily clear 7 branches. Like if you see, I have it sped up, the gameplay is sped up by a lot on screen, but you guys should be able to see what we are doing. My brother and I and his wife, we did this together. She has not played Destiny in an extremely long time. She had very little loot as far as considering like the god roll, like best options to use for ad clearing and DPS, and we got through 8 branches without really even trying that hard by utilizing waiting for our supers, Oppressive Darkness, and going through as fast as we could once we started that branch. So hopefully that makes sense. It is also worth noting that you guys need to pick and use one of those perks on your mask. By the way, make sure this whole time that you're doing anything during the Festival of the Lost, if you care about this event, wear the masks. Now, hopefully I remember to put this in overlay at the beginning where I kind of missed it. You need to have the mask on the whole time. The candy, nothing will drop for you unless you are wearing that mask. So make sure you have on the mask. But there's a perk for that mask. There's 3 options you can choose between. I want to have it kind of going over here on screen nice and slowly. I went with the one that gave me significant damage increase on the nightmare, on those terror things, the bosses pretty much is what they are, because that made our boss damage rounds for the most part like 10 seconds or less. It was insane. And then my brother Ty Archimedes, he was running the one that just kind of gave you a bunch of extra damage against majors, and then I don't believe my sister-in-law was running really any of those, and so just even 2 of us using those made a huge difference. Now I would suggest you guys consider using swords. So notice all those perks there showed a heavy ammo finder. Swords are insane right now. You might be saying, well, Caboose, you're using Legend of Acurius. I know. I was working on the Catalyst, still working on it. Once I'm done with the Catalyst, believe me, I'm going to be using a sword by Fallen Guillotine the whole time with Relentless Blade and surrounded or whirlwind strikes. So make sure you guys are using a sword. Have on things like sword scavenger, lucent blade, which comes on arc armor pieces for legs. That will give you more sword damage, has some charge with light stuff, and guys, you're gonna blaze through all the ads. You could probably just use your sword exclusively almost the whole time. Just pay attention to your ammo, make sure you have on 2 heavy ammo finders, your helmet and your legs, and guys, you will be set. Should have 0 issues getting at least 7 clears. Now you want those 7 branches cleared because that is a weekly challenge. I believe it's a pinnacle, but let me know down below. I could be wrong. I honestly didn't even pay attention to why we wanted 7 clears. Someone had just mentioned in the party, like, hey, like, we got 7 clears, and I was like, oh, like, that must be a reason, so we went for 7 clears. And then we said weekly challenge acquired, so it might be a pinnacle, but it's at least a tier 3 reward, so that's why you guys should be trying to worry about it. It's also potentially a triumph from last year. I also remember last year having something about 9 branches cleared, because I made a video about how to clear 9 branches on console, and it did really well for me comparatively to like the rest of the year. So if you guys want to try and get those old triumphs done this year, this strategy will work amazingly for you guys. It'll be beautiful. We did not have oppressive darkness in 2019 to my knowledge, so you guys, you all are set on getting those branches cleared. Now we're gonna wrap up this video, just kind of mentioned, like, is it worth it? Honestly, I think it is. I really like getting exotic loot. I think it's creative how they made them all mummies. I kind of have fun with the masks. However, if you're not someone that just cares about like little really frankly kind of stupid stuff, like this is kind of some of the stuff to me that makes Bungie and Destiny kind of fun, is some of the stuff because like it's just cosmetic, like it doesn't really matter a whole lot, then maybe don't worry about it. But if you want to be like, hey, in case Bungie is going to be giving a buff to 450 auto rifles because those candy bags and haunted forest chests could give you the Braytech werewolf or the horror story, which are both 450 RPM auto rifles, unless Bungie gives them a buff, there's not much of a point to have them unless you just want to get different rolls than you have from previous years. So the loot's a little bit lackluster unless you're just like me and you're kind of a collectionist. So think about that a little bit. If you're like, hey, this is going to take me more time, you do also have a couple of weeks. This usually runs 3 or 4 weeks, so like you don't necessarily have to do it all in a week, although I'm going to probably try to because I'm insane. So make sure you guys are kind of trying to figure out for yourself, do I want this thing? So take a look through the loot page, like go to Eva Vontae in the tower, see. Like, I personally suggest you guys go for it. However, 45 Cipher Decoders could take a long time, and you need to get up to 45 in order to get all 3 of those exotic pieces of loot, the Ghost, the Sparrow, and the ship. Alright, so just kind of comparing this a little bit to last year, I don't remember there being a Cipher Decoder. I remember there being nothing. You just got to the end, and you got all the loot out of the chest. And I think Bungie saw there are lots of folks that were getting insane numbers of clears. Like off the top of my head, I know in past years there were people like hitting 30 different branches, and I think this whole Cipher system is Bungie trying to tell people like, whoa, chill out. You don't have to be trying to do like this like nominal world best kind of clear stuff, because you're not going to really get rewards for it unless you have these very rare ciphers. That's kind of my take on why Bungie is doing what they're doing with the ciphers. Normally it's just everyone beats it, they get the stuff, and you could in theory have grinded out all of these things in a day. Now these ciphers kind of put in a bit of a limit, making it where you probably really have to at least stretch this out over at least a couple of days, depending upon the luck of RNG and how efficient patrol farming with Toland on the moon is. So those are kind of my takes with this whole event. I'm kind of excited about it, but it's more like the original, like, hey, I'm getting more stuff dropping on the ground and popping up on my screen just by doing things I would normally do, which is kill stuff, which is basically like Guardian games and Solstice of Heroes, and it's probably going to wear off real quick. But for now, it's like, yay, more things lighting up on my screen. I'm ADD. This is more entertaining than nothing lighting up my screen. And that's probably the only reason why I don't hate it right now. Alright guys, thank you all so much for watching. Let me know down below what you guys think about this event. If my tips were helpful for getting through those branch clears, let me know. If you would like more detail, I'll go through my videos, try and find my one from last year. It goes into way more detail. I'll do my best to try to put a link to it in the description I didn't feel like it was worth going super in depth on how to get through those 7 clears, because like what I told you guys should be enough, and it was so easy. I don't think you even need to worry about all the detail that I gave in that last video, but just in case, I'll do my best to put that in the description box. You guys are all fantastic. Again, let me know down below. Again, subscribe, it means a lot. Thank you all so much for putting up with that rather long intro. I had a lot of announcements to make that I was really excited about, and I know it took a little bit. So thank you guys all so much for watching that. I am Church of Caboose. Have a great week and happy grinding, y'all.